This is Thomas Juth, you're watching Studio Tea Break, and in this video I'm going to open my toolbox and show you what 3 reverbs I use.
Three, two, one.
My first reverb on the list, my main reverb, and no surprise to anybody, but the Valhallas. They sound great, they're inexpensive, so you can easily recommend them to people who are starting out, and they're so versatile. There's so much you can do with them. Since I started using the Valhalla Vintage and Room 10 years ago, I haven't used another one since then as my main reverb. And I really like that they've added different eras in there. You have 70s, 80s, and now, giving you even more options when working with it. And the funny part is that whichever setting you use on the Valhalla Vintage or Room, it still has a distinct sound to it. Almost like there's a chorusy effect in there, giving your music an emotional nerve. But that sound never gets in the way. It's very subtle.
2.
And the next reverb on the list is the UED EMT 250, a classic reverb by EMT. And EMT was famous for their 140 plate, and that's probably what they're most famous for still today. The EMT 250, though, was one of the first digital reverbs to come out on the market, and I love it for its 80s fresh retro sound. And somehow it sounds super epic and beautiful, especially for keys and synths and that kind of stuff. And it's one of those sounds that are hard to replace, I think, in a mix. And it's also very funky looking with those big faders on it.
3.
And the last reverb on the list is Atlantis Echo Chamber by Softtube. And having an echo chamber in your toolbox is super useful, as they sound very different from plates and other kinds of reverbs. You'll get a much more deep, rich tone. And I personally use echo chambers a lot when I want the reverb to really stand out and have its own unique character. And this specific chamber sounds really good on more percussive sounds, like hand claps or percussions or lonely drums in a mix or even vocals. But I would definitely use it more on slower tracks when there's more space, if that makes sense. All right, thank you so much for watching. And if you like this video, then chances are you will also like this one, where I talk about compression.